You are
Ah,
live.
you're alive!
Wait.
Nice.
I don't think I'm really live.
I think you are.
Ha! There you go.
אנחנו לייב, אחי. אנחנו לייב.
Be live? Yes, a
אנחנו
boomerang.
בדיליי, אבל בלייב.
What's the delay?
אני חושב שאנחנו באיזה... בואו נראה. לא. לא, אנחנו לא בדיליי. לא, אנחנו לא בדיליי.
Delay, אחוז שילינג.
דיליי של... בסדר, אבל בוא.
We got
זה
a
לא כזה
delay.
משנה.
Let's try
זה לא
again. You
כזה.
ready?
זה לא
Start
כזה
counting.
נורא.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
6 seconds delay. Comments. Who's putting comments?
Oh, there's somebody putting comments already?
Hey, Lee. Wow, I can see the comments here. Hey,
Oh, he's
guys.
quick.
We're doing a test. I've been trying for the last hour to set this thing, and now it's working because I want to start interviewing people and having them, on the channel. So I'm using the kid as my test bunny. Hey, Karen. Hey,
Funny.
Mariana, Liana, Leah, Gigi, Purple Pulp. We're testing. Well, what's the delay? So let's do that again. So, are you
2,
counting?
3, 4, 5, 6. 6. It's 6 seconds all the time.
Seconds. 6 seconds delay.
Yep.
Yeah. We're using a StreamYard, I think. Shalom. Well, you know what? Since we're here, let's do this, worth time for the people that jump to say hi. Roy, you just came back from the Hassan, the Green Prince, right?
Yeah, Musab Hassan Yousef, exactly. I'll move
Yeah,
to
Shalom, John. So you
a
just came back
different
from what, a
place.
live interview with him?
It was a live interview in Tel Aviv
Hmm.
with Tzvi Kelly interviewing him.
Ah, that must have
Mhm.
been cool.
That was cool. Even though my father thought it was like a little cliche and stroking the Israeli ego a little bit too much, and I was like, yeah, but we earned it. We earned it.
Yeah, I can see how that can be with Tzvi Chizkeli. I think, he's talking very much to the Israeli crowd. Um, Probably, working his way to become a politician soon or something. So,
I don't mind. I mean,
oh, I like.
he's not. Yeah, he's not my cup of tea, but I do think that some of the look, he has been warning us for quite some time, and some people were just not listening.
Tzvi can be weird sometimes. Purple Pope said,
He
LUL,
is. Well,
laughing on loud.
laughing yeah. Let's not say it because maybe it's like
Yeah.
let's not get demonetized. So yeah, so the conversation was very interesting. Um, I there was a few moments I actually cried, and one of these moments were when Tzvi said that he met Musab's dad in Israeli prison in 2010. As many of you know, it's been like 15 years or even more that after Musab escaped from Gaza, escaped from Hamas, escaped from the T groups, his dad said that Musab's blood is halal, which means that he's free for yeah, you know that.
What a
So
religion, Can you imagine? You're a father now. Can you imagine one day you'll let a blood contract on your daughter?
So that's the thing. So when Tzvi Cheskeli interviewed him, that wasn't in an interview, but he talked to him. He asked him again about his son. He said he's not my son. He said he's not my son. He probably never was my son. And I will, the next time I'll see him, I will strangle him in my bare hands. And this is the moment I started crying. Like when I started trying to visualize something like that.
I think sometimes us in Western culture, we find it hard to understand cultures that don't share the same values that we have toward life and family. And I had that experience the first time really strong. I was helping a group of Sudanese kids that fled from Sudan, and they managed to make their way into the land of Israel through all the atrocities in Egypt and etc. Many perished in the way, and the one that survived, I was one of the first one in Israel actually to start volunteering with them because I saw these beautiful, tall, dark-skinned kids, just tiny kids, but they were walking barefoot and they spoke Arabic. And I realized quickly that if I and my friends don't start welcoming them into our society and teaching them our ways and helping them adapt, soon they're going to move from becoming cute kids into criminals, then drugs, then sex, and organized crime. And that's a pretty natural path that many times people who are outcasts that don't get cared they might fall into. So we started doing these groups for them, and one of the kids there was a very special kid because he was only with his father, but his father was an alcoholic and abuser, and his father took him from his mother when they were, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old. So he still remember the image of his mother. He misses her, and his father kidnapped him from his mother and was abusing him through the entire journey all the way to Israel. And in Israel, one time he came with a broken teeth, and my friends went and paid to fix his teeth. And at a certain point, we even took him away from the father with a legal, intervention, social workers, and etc. And at the age of 18, Israel decided to send back many of the Sudanese back to Sudan because there was an agreement in Sudan. It was getting more peaceful, and he insisted to come and meet me. And I haven't spoken to him for several, maybe a year or two, or a year maybe. And he came and he wanted to personally tell me, thank you for all that you've done, and I just want to tell you that I'm leaving to Sudan. And we cried together and we hugged. And I remember he even told me that he's jealous of Western kids because they get to go to school. And I was like, wow, someone that want to go to school, so many that go and they don't get to go. So that kid, we cried together, we prayed together. And I told him, listen, stay in touch with me. And I created an email group mail. I'm old school. Created like a group email chain with a lot of my friends that knew him, people that volunteered and talked with him. And we told him, please keep us posted. And he says, yeah, one of the first things I want to do is I want to look for my mother. And we all got excited about that. So this young 18 years old, brilliant man flies to Sudan. And then after 2 days, he sends us the first email, says, listen, it was a rough way, but I got out of the airplane and I got to share with you exciting news. No, after 2 weeks, I didn't hear from him. And he told me, I got to share with you exciting news. I found someone that knows about the whereabouts of my mother. And we all got so excited. A lot of my friends started thank God, hallelujah, getting excited. Praise the Lord. Please keep us updated. And I told him, listen, brother, we're all with you with prayers. Keep us posted. He says, yeah, she's far away in some tribe out there, and I'm going to go and find my mother. Now, this kid has been talking about his mother forever. That was his beacon of life. And then I don't hear from him for like 2 months. And we're all wondering what happened. And after 2 months, I get another email from him, and he says, I'm sorry, it was the hardest time of my life. I went to see my mother, but she married a man from another tribe. And when I got there, and I told her, hi, I'm your son, my mother chased me with a knife. She wanted to murder me because she didn't want the other man to see another boy from another man. So, and then the man chased him and tried to murder him, and then he ran away there. So just imagine, wow, like you dream about meeting your mother, and then you go meet her, and she tries to kill you, and she knows you're her son, like you were there with her for 7 years. And then he said, he had to flee. He dropped everything. He had nothing. He was like eating like an animal from the floor, and he was just surviving. He said he felt like, the animals had more food than him. And then he found an old lady that gave him shelter in a broken house. And there's a whole genocide that is going in Sudan actually. But anyway, my point is, a lot of my friends in Israel were just shocked. It's like, how can this be? Like, that's your son. That's He was waiting for her. He was kidnapped from her. You'd imagine that she would want him, but some cultures, they just have very different values when it comes to life and when it comes to family. And back to Hassan Masab,
Yeah,
in the Muslim world, it's many, in the radical Muslim world, a lot of time they raise their kids to become shaheeds. What kind of a lunatic mother would want her kid to go and blow himself up? Seriously. And you have testimonies from Gaza, from many mothers in Gaza, not all, but many that are saying that my dream is I'm bringing children so they become shaheeds. It's like, wow. As a father, I look at my kid and, there's nothing that I want more than the best for him.
that's
And I'm
the
sure
thing. That's the
relate.
thing. Yeah, I think that you've nailed in the nail in the head. It is not ethnic thing. It's not a racial thing. It's a cultural,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to remember that it is a cultural debate. And most something else about of culture, and he said
Mm-hmm.
that we need to understand that. My God, she's trying to. She wants to say, um, happy birthday.
Whose
Anyway,
birthday is it?
my birthday. I'm 34 today.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wait, you're joking or are you serious right now?
No, I told you that the reason I went to Musab, it was my dad's gift. He bought me a ticket.
That is your birthday gift to go and see a former terrorist who's a great guy. I mean, usually people go
Well,
to Luna Park, on their birthday, or
that's the gift you give to someone who is 34 years old and you don't know what to give him.
I wonder how would Musab react to that. That someone's birthday was to bring him to watch him talk about Hamas. Well,
I,
happy
I
birthday,
asked,
brother. I love it.
thank you. Thank you very much. I asked for a pet snake, but well, I have to, everybody needs to make
You
adjustments,
know what? Yeah, the Gigi said I want Musab for my birthday too. Actually, yeah, I would like that. If I think about many birthday gifts that I got, that would probably be a pretty good birthday gift.
right? And it
It
was
just
expensive.
amused me that someone's birthday gift
It
was
was
to see
expensive.
Middle Eastern. But
It was like 300 shekels for a ticket, man. It was like Celine Dion kind of,
Hassan
but the
Masab,
seat,
Celine Dion, yeah, I can see how they can go in the same. Yeah, okay, fair
well,
enough.
they have the same energy. They have the same energy. You can see it in his eyes. Like, those are animals.
Yeah,
Animals.
I love it. Yeah, I love when he gets to talk with woke Western, college kids, or kind of woke feminist activists. Like he just eats them alive because the guy is literally
Did.
grew up inside Hamas, was literally the head of Hamas at a certain point, was in Israeli prison. He was going to kill himself, to kill the Jews before actually he converted. By the way, he became Christian.
Unalive, unalive. Say unalive for the monetization.
What is
For
that?
say unalive. Don't say because for the monetization.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. I need to learn these things about YouTube. So annoying. One of the most annoying things that I find with all these regulations, it ends up annoying the good guys. Like you try to write a lot of time things like words, and it just doesn't let you write these words. And he just, I just want, I am not participating in this. I'm trying to talk about it. Let me write that word. I'm not going to say the word here. And it just makes it. So, anyway, when you see him talking to all these activists, you can see in his eyes that he's in a different school. He's in a different ball game. You know that they have no idea what they're talking about. And it just amuses me how someone would even dare to go a college. You know what? If I will go and argue with him, I'm an Israeli. He's a Palestinian, former Palestinian. We were actually in the same time in the army. I was in the army and he was, on the side of Hamas. We can bring an argument. We can have a point. But if you're a college kid from the U.S., from Berkeley, you're 18 years old, man. Just last week, you thought you're Spider-Man. I'm not kidding. Like, how ridiculous can you be? You're practically the dumbest version of an adult that there is. You just became an adult. You have no life experience. And then you say, yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to argue with the son of Hamas, someone who grew up in Hamas, in Palestine, went through all the ranks, understand it inside out, work with Israel, work with them. He just went to America. Like, someone have so much life experience, such rich life experience, and then these numbskulls. Where's the humility? Seriously, but that just shows you how unrealistic they are.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. He talked about the guy, the student from UCLA that he argued with, and he said, I was there, a former Hamas militant, not say T group, right? Because again, monetization, a former Hamas militant. I was there with a former hostage. I was there with the whole crowd. I was there with a journalist from, I think she was from Lebanon. She was a former Lebanese. She
The one that
escaped.
went with the pepper spray because he was afraid from the leftist demonstrators. Yeah.
Exactly. So they were all there, and they were all for him. Nothing, nothing. And he said to him after the argument, he came to him and he said, "You know what? I might, if I sit long enough with a Hamas militant, I could maybe agree on one thing. With you, nothing. Never, 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 because you're so brainwashed,
Yeah.
so brainwashed." And that's the thing. That's the thing. They don't understand how indoctrinated they are, how brainwashed they are into that ideology that doesn't even consider them as humans. That's
You
the
know,
thing.
I a lot of times when I see him speak, I can see that he's thinking in Arabic. I can like literally read the Arabic clogs going in his head, and that's when you see comments. Well, when he was talking to that journalist, feminist, blonde girl, Pierce Morgan, I think, and then he's like, "You're not even a woman." I was laughing.
You're not even a
Who
mother. You're
gave
not
you the
even a mother.
authority? Who gave you? You tell me that you're not even a woman. I was like, whoa. In Arabic, that probably sound much better, but I can understand what he's saying there.
Oh, he also said, like, in the end of the conversation, he said, "Listen, guys, you don't need to agree with everything I said. I know I sound like a tyrant. I know I sound crazy. It's okay, but this is my life experience. This is my own life experience. So, if I sound crazy to anyone, you need to understand that this came from someone who was bathed bathed in this ideology. So." It's not me who is crazy. That's what he's saying. It's not me who is crazy. It's them. I am a reaction to this kind of ideology.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he said something also. He said, when we went inside, there was a very big crowd. Listen, we were there. I think it was like 1,000 people there. It was a very very big crowd. A lot of people, and a lot of people were cheering him all throughout the show. I'm calling it show, but it's not really a show. It was like a conversation. But it was a show with the energy he brought. And also, the thing is that we went inside, and the guys who checked us, checked our bags and everything, they were Arabs. The guy who took us to, with the cab, he was an Arab cab driver. And so he said something about the Muslims and the Arabs who are living inside of Israel. He says, the moment they will understand that they are not Palestinians, that the Palestinians doesn't exist, that the Palestinians are just a movement that is genocidal against the Jews. The moment that they will understand that they were Arab Israelis, I'm not going to take away from them the Arab personality roots. That's fine,
Mhm.
but don't see yourself as Palestinian because this is and like he said. I was talking with a cab driver. He was Muslim, and he told me I'm Palestinian. He said, "You're not Palestinian. You have a blue passport. You have an Israeli passport. Stop saying stuff that you don't understand because you
Yeah.
don't understand what you're talking about." And so the moment they will understand that listen, most people, most Arabs, most Muslims in Israel understand that, but that's okay. That those who do not, if they don't want to be here, they don't want to be part of this society, don't. That's what he
Yeah.
said. Again, YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what he
It's
said.
interesting because when I was in university, I had a Muslim student with me, and he came from a very Muslim village. I'm not going to mention which village that is, but kind of very contradictional. One of the villages in Israel, but they're very much pro-Palestine, anti-Israel. And I saw that he was very ashamed, not ashamed, very kind of shy in the beginning. He was the only, other than me, he was the only Arab guy in the class. And so I made friends with him very fast, and we would study with sometimes, and I would help him with the Hebrew, and I would help him, with the culture, adapting. And he was the first one in his family that went to a Jewish city. So he was very kind of, his family, his father, life saving was to go and send him to school. But actually, in the end, he almost ended up studying for free because I helped him find all kind of scholarships. One day we're studying in my house, and that was just when I was reading again the book, The Green Prince. So he saw the book, and he like got really shaken. And I came and I told him, listen, let me show you this guy. And I opened the YouTube when the guy, when Hassan Masab, that was, I'm talking like more than 10 years, 15 years ago, when he was talking in the UN. And he just smashed my keyboard. And he said, this is a traitor, Hada Khayin, that's a traitor. I can't listen to him. So long story short, I talked with this guy, and shortly after, that was when the Arab Spring came. And, they were seeing what the Muslim countries were doing to Arabs all around the world. And he came to me, and he just, in an honest revelation, told me, listen, Mansour, I tell you honestly, I'm so glad that I'm living in Israel as a Muslim. He says, I'm seeing how they're treating Muslims in Egypt. I see how they're treating Muslims in Syria and in Lebanon and in Palestine. And whoa, if I was there, God forbid, like, I'm so glad I'm in Israel. It's the only place that I can feel as safe as a Muslim. So then I came and I told him, so why don't you try to connect more to this identity? He says, I don't know how to do it. He says, like, I feel like I'm contradicting myself. Like, I'm a Muslim, I should hate them, but then it's the best country for me. So I told him, well, how about you start doing something that will make you feel part of this country? So you're actually helping this country to become that great. So you're not just a product enjoying it. He says, like what? He said, join the army. He said, haram. I cannot join the army. I said, I understand that. It might be harder for you in the village. How about join the police? I'm telling you, when you will join the police, volunteer, there's volunteers programs. After a year or 2 years, if someone will come and talk to you about Israel, you'll feel like I am part of this country. I helped defend this country. I helped secure, I helped people in the streets. And he went and volunteered in the police, and he came to me after 1 year and says, I've never felt so Israeli in my life. And he was so happy about it. And he felt like, I'm much more connected to this country right now. And I saw the shift, complete shift from someone who was obviously pro-jihad and hated Israel, all the way to the point that he was realizing, he's a young man, he was 18. He was going through that, adapting, kind of shifting himself. And many people in Israel, once they start realizing that this is the greatest country for them, I feel like they should take the next step and actually start doing something for that country. And that's in every country, I think. Otherwise, you raise a generation of parasites who hate their own country, and then they raise children who hate their country even more and have no idea, and then that country collapse. That's like the old saying, hard times make strong men make good times make weak men make hard times. So I think every country should have some kind of a mandatory social, how do you call it, a national service to help them understand why is this country so good. Otherwise, it just grow to be weird and start coloring their hairs and giving themselves different kind of woke pronouns and just supporting Hamas
You know, my
encompassing.
dad, My dad just told me when we went to the show now. He told me about a paramedic that he has in his. My dad runs a Herzliya Medical Center, and he told me about a paramedic he has there, who is a Muslim Arab, and he didn't he volunteered. Instead of going to the army, he volunteered as a paramedic,
Uh-huh.
and he still is like he's still working as it. And he never said that he was like Israeli or Palestinian, but he said that after the war, stuff happened to him, and he said he came to my dad and he said, "Listen, can you help me because I want to go and volunteer into the army? Can you help me have like connections and stuff because my dad is very well connected." And he said,
Mm-hmm.
"Of course, everything you need, I will help you. Whatever you need, whatever you got, they'll take you." Because we need paramedics in the army. And he said, "I'm starting to see a shift." My dad said, "I'm starting to see a shift," and I'm seeing it too. I'm seeing it too. I don't know if I told you about the young Bedouin guy that I met 6 months ago. His whole village was destroyed by Hamas on the 7th of October, and his family fled to my home, my town, where I live. And he said, "I lived. He's 18 years old. He never learned Hebrew because he never felt that he's part of Israel. He always felt that he's Arab, Muslim, and Palestinian, and he has more values with those beyond like in Gaza and in the West Bank than he has values with the people who live in Israel." And after
Mm-hmm.
what happened on October 7th, he said, "My whole identity shifted. My whole identity shifted. I understood that I have nothing with those people." And now he said, "Now I'm learning Hebrew. Now I want to contribute. I want to maybe not go to the army, but I want to do like stuff. I want to go and be a paramedic." That's I think. Uh, Listen, I'm not saying we need to do a lot, but I think we need to show up as Israelis, as Jews who live here, and say we need to, like, when people show that they are serious about being part, don't throw it away. Don't show them their back. You need to be open and say, "I embrace you," because this is the way forward. I'm not saying you need to turn the other cheek, because turning the other cheek means people fight you. You need to stand down and don't do anything. No, stand up when people are fighting you. Stand up for the people who want to fight with you as well. And when people wants to fight with you, be there with them, help them, because you can never know who is the next Musab Hassan Yousef. You can never know.
That's true. That's true. Never give up on a human just because of its background, color of skin, religion. I don't know what. Take every case base by base. That's for sure. Like one of the greatest examples that I experienced in my life is when I was a kid. We're going through a very hard time in the village, and with my family and the extended family. And there was a point that we were so poor that we had no electricity and no running water for days, and it was winter, and no heating. Sorry. So my mom did not want to shower her babies in cold water, so she actually went to the neighbor family members and just told them, "Listen, I know that you don't like me and my husband, but can you please shower my babies, hot water?" And they just shut the door in their face. And the only one that ended up seeing it from far away and called us was an Arab Christian. And she called us and she said, "Come, please," and she let us shower as babies, as kids. I was maybe 4. My sister was 2. Shower in their house. And since then, my mother came and told me that's how she raised me. She said, "It doesn't matter if you're Druze, if you're Jewish, if you're Christian, if you're this, the best people do not always come from your religion. They can come from any religion. And I've seen people from my own religion that were terrible, and I've seen people from other religions that were amazing, and I've seen the other way around." And that made me just open my mind and realize that goodness can come in every shape, every color, every place. And later on, we had so many acts of kindness that were happening to us from Jewish people, from Muslim people, from Christian people, from Druze people. So, yeah, just like you said, closing up and just canceling a whole group of people just because they come from a different background is a big mistake. You're just losing on so much in life. That is
Exactly.
true. But anyway, tell us what was there anything interesting else in the Hassan Masab birthday
Yes.
party?
It was a very unique birthday party. That was for sure. No candles, no candles though. Uh, yeah, he said something about Julani. He said something very interesting about Julani. He said he is a T T guy. He is a militant
Hmm.
with a suit, and we need to be very, very, very careful because he's talking the talk and he's walking the walk. He's doing whatever he needs to do to legitimize himself in front of the world. But we mustn't forget that his history, his actions are very problematic, and he is endorsed by Erdogan, the prime minister of Turkey, and we
Yeah.
know exactly. And he said those two have a very big problem of a mental problem. They think
Erdogan
they
is
are
supporting
God.
Hamas. Erdogan is hating Israel. There were just revealed the secret documents of the Turkish Secret Service. Did you read that article? So that is a fascinating one. So during October 7, there was a delegation of Hamas meeting in Turkey with the Turkish Secret Service partners, just like the Mossad will meet with the CIA, they were meeting with the Hamas guys. And as they were there, suddenly October 7th started. And apparently, that's what the Turkish said. They said that it seems like the Hamas guys didn't even know that it started and they were just shocked like everyone else because it was caught them by surprise. I guess they knew what the plans made because, they kept it so secretive. And then they started rejoicing and Allahu Akbar. And when the more they were seeing the videos of, all the violence that happened, we're not going to say the word here, they started rejoicing and celebrating. And then the Turkish Secret Service guys came and asked them, all right, guys, great victory. Great. You caught them by surprise. Um, but obviously, this is not going to defeat Israel. And now you have 1-0 against Israel. What's your plan next? Because Israel is not going to do 1-1. Israel is going to do 10-1. Like, what's your next? And they didn't have an answer. And then the Turkish started yelling at the Hamas guys, you guys are idiots. You guys are stupid. You guys are irresponsible. What were you thinking? Okay, so you caught them by surprise. You got 1-0. What's going to happen next? They're going to go and they're going to wipe you out of the face of this earth. Do you know what kind of a disaster you brought on yourself? And now you're going kidnapping their children? So Turkey started giving cow poop to Hamas, but not necessarily because what they're doing was wrong, because it was irresponsible in terms of a warfare, because they had no plan B. Okay, what's your next step? You did this, great. How are you going to continue? So that shows you where Turkey is shifting, where Turkey is going. And I think I agree with you. That's very interesting that Hassan says that because Hassan Masab, he was a former terrorist. So Jawlani can come and say, yes, I used to be, but I've changed. But the main thing that actually made me trust more Hassan Masab was first his actions. When he changed, he converted to Christianity. He converted to a religion of peace from a religion of war. He started helping the Israelis to save lives. And he started fighting against the radicals that are Hamas, that are killing his own people, because that's what made him change, by the way, when he saw how they were treating their own people, how Hamas was treating their own people, the cruelty that they were having, Sinwar and others. So his change was not only in words, but was backed up by pretty serious actions, ideology-wise and actions. Jawlani just said he changed. Nothing really changed. He just shaved a little bit his beard and put a jacket. He's still best friend buddy buddy with Erdogan, which is buddy buddy with Hamas. He is still, all of his cabinet are people who have videos of them beheading, killing, shooting people. So YouTube, don't censor this, please. And so you can see that it's a whole different game, and I completely understand them. And that's what I've been saying from the beginning. And many people that actually can read a little bit past the lines were saying, guys, don't be too happy. Europe, don't get too excited, go shaking the hand of these guys. He's not Che Guevara. He's trying to dress like him. He's not Zelensky, even though he have the nice outfit, like he's trying to look like Zelensky. So he kind of took Che Guevara and Zelensky and said, let me look like both of them. I'm honestly thinking that there might have been some kind of a tailor and a PR expert in Turkey that came from, listen, okay, we got to get rid of the Al Qaeda look. ISIS, no, get that out of the way. Hamas, no, not good, not good. You know what? Let's give him some Zelensky vibes and let's just sprinkle on him a little bit kind of Che Guevara. Oh, I love it. I love it. Look at him. The Europeans will fall for him. They will love him. They will come to shake his hand from all the faces of the earth. And that's exactly what's happening. Everybody in Europe going, oh, look at
On the
him. He
point.
looks like Zelensky.
On
He
the
looks like
point.
Rivera. I had people even write comments like, oh, but he's so handsome, like Western females. I mean, this guy is from ISIS, you numbskull. But that shift, and they told him, and listen, just speak less, tune it down with the Allah Akbar. You can later on do all these beheadings and etc. You can keep doing that. We're not going to tell you to stop, but let's tune it down for now until the West fall for it. So that's the vibe that I'm having, and I'm pretty sure that's the vibe that Musab Hassan is having. He's probably just explaining it in a less humoristic way than mine. But
Yes,
that's
exactly.
the West just needs to wake up and just stop falling for jihadists.
Yeah,
He
the
had a
West needs
stylist.
to
Yeah,
wake
JP.
up. The West needs to wake up and smell the jihad. Exactly.
Smell the
Uh,
hummus.
Other things that he said that are very interesting is also about the hostage deal. And he said, like, of course we are all happy. Oh, that's
Yeah,
new.
yeah. New technology, man. High tech. Sorry,
So
continue.
technological. So technological. You cannot take the Druze out of the village. That's you can
Don't
take the
make me
Druze.
come to you and make some Ale Geffen out of you, okay? Let's calm down here.
Anything but Ale Geffen.
I'm going
Anything
to
but
roll
that.
you like an Ale Geffen in the carpet, and your father is not going to be happy.
Don't
Sorry,
forget,
continue.
my father has connected with the IDF. He will make you a big tusik. Don't worry, a big
Just
tusik.
happened to be that I'm in the same IDF, so maybe me and him will be friends actually. So
Okay, so he said something about some of the people who are going to be released, potentially be released, and he said the name Ibrahim Khalid.
mhm.
He said that if you think that Sinwar was bad, you don't know Ibrahim Khalid. Sinwar is like a little gangster. He's like a little small gangster fish, like from the Bronx, being tough guy, being like showing up and pumping his chest and, "Oh, you look at me." Ibrahim Khalid is the brain. He's the mastermind. He took it took Masab and his friends 8 years to catch him. 8 years, 4 years, he did not see him. And we're talking about when he was undercover, when
He's
Masab
got a
was undercover.
pretty
For
small
four
place
years,
also.
4 years he didn't see him. So we're talking about someone who is very smart, very tactical. And if we release him, boy, that can be very bad. That can be very, very, very bad. And we can like if Sinwar made October 7 happen, imagine what kind of a guy like him, what can he do?
Here's the
And so
thing
he
that I
said
think
that after we release those people, we need to hunt them down. Hunt, hunt, hunt. That's
that's
what
what he said.
that's what we need to do. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I love the guy. He knows his stuff. I tell you what, I'm hoping that this was the secret talks with Bibi and Trump behind the scenes. Kind of saying, okay, let's let it happen, and after that, we'll take care of them. I hope that that's the place and not the other way around, because that's what the West tends to forget. Radical Islam and jihad, they always adapt to the newest technology that the West have. You're never fighting the same jihadists today and a year from now. Otherwise, they will cease to be, because the West will get them. I remember having that exact conversation with an officer from the Shabak when we were in Gaza when the tunnels just started. That was before the tunnels started, actually. And we just started using these top secret drones. And that was like a game changer. We didn't have them before, and now like IDF was having them. And that gave like this superiority over Hamas because it was not a helicopter that can hear it and hide. It was really high, but then it still can take them down and have night visions and heating sensors, etc. And I remember they were like all excited, the brigades and everyone. They were sitting there and thinking like, "Wow, this is amazing! Look at that!" The Shabak guy was talking to an agent on the ground, someone that was living in Gaza, and he was telling him, "Okay, 20 of them are running right now outside my house. They're gathering the kids around them. They're gonna shoot an RPG, and after that, they're gonna go." So they gave the order to wait because there were kids around them. And after that, they went to do another ambush somewhere else, and that's when the general gave the order to take them down. And I even remember the pilot, IDF pilot, arguing with the general because he told him, "I need a confirmation." The general said, "Now, do it now. I'm giving you the confirmation." And told, "Sorry, I need to have my own confirmation." And that shows you how humane Israel. They were waiting for the kids to be away. Then they were waiting for the clear checklist by the pilots. And then they took them down. And everybody was there was like, "Wow, this is a game changer. We were just able to take 20 terrorists without a single gunshot, without risking a single soldier." And everybody was like, thinking like that's gonna change everything. And I remember looking at the Shabak guy, and I spoke Arabic to him, and he spoke really good Arabic. And I told him, "You know what? This is gonna change everything." And he told me, "What do you mean?" And I says, "They're all gonna start fighting underground." And that was before the tunnels. I think even that he didn't know what I was talking about. And I says, "I'm telling you seriously, you're gonna get one shot here, one shot there. You're gonna get a few, and then they're gonna realize that walking in the ground is not safe anymore, and they're gonna move everything underground. You're gonna end up having a city underground." Whoa, behold, a year later already, the tunnel became the biggest thing, and then later on, see what happened today. So when you don't finish the job with radical Islam, and not only that, you end up actually releasing all kind of masterminds into the ranks. There's a reason that they're sitting in Israel with life sentences. You end up, they adapt, they learn, and then you're going to end up having a war October 7th. That's why in the US, people are talking right now that Al Qaeda is planning something bigger than 9/11, probably bigger than October 7th, because they have their own competitions as well. Oh, look at them. Al Qaeda did this, let's do that. Now, them, let's do this. And under the Obama and Kamala, and what was the name of the other? The old guy that can barely walk, doesn't remember where he goes. Biden.
Biden.
I keep forgetting. Today I forgot the name of Obama. I was like, what was the name of this guy? It just shows how highly I think of them. Anyway, so under these guys, they just allowed a lot of these jihadists to infiltrate America right, left, and center. And instead of actually trying to secure the borders, they were busy sending $50 million budget for condoms. Did you hear that? They were sending.
I actually thought it was a good idea, but somebody said, well, they might use it for terrorist stuff,
What do you mean they
and not
might?
like.
They used it.
That's true. That's true. They
I
did,
have
like the
friends of mine.
balloon.
I have friends of mine from the drone unit of the IDF. That was way before Ukraine. And they were taking down these inflated condoms flying in the air with their own drone. I'm talking civilians during their military service. They'll come and say, "Listen, guys, we're very good with drones. Let us do something else." And the IDF was very creative. Yeah, great. Let's use that skill. And they were flying their drones. Very good friends of mine that do that. They're leading in the industry in Israel, and they were flying the drones and taking these condoms. So what are you thinking? You're giving Gaza 50. First of all, why are you wasting $50 million on a terrorist organization when you know they're gonna steal that money? When you know these condoms are not gonna be used to be given to the people that maybe need them? Second of all, who's giving these condoms? Like, you know how many condoms you can buy with $50 million? I don't know, but
Uh,
I'm just assuming. I don't know, like a package of condoms. Maybe
I'm
you're the expert.
assuming you can. I'm assuming. Screw you. Literally.
No, seriously, how many? Like a package, how many have 20? I'm just throwing 20, let's say.
Uh,
Throw a number.
we're
I don't
talking
know, five.
about 20 shekels. 20 shekels. I think it's more like
20 shekel,
30,
$5,
40,
20. Let's do the
something like
math.
that.
Let's do the math.
I think I don't think the math doesn't like really matters right now. I don't think it
Matters,
needs
it
to
matters.
like.
My brain, it matters. 50 million
Look, guys, look,
divided
guys.
by
Mansour is take the
that's
zero.
10 million, 10 million condom packages. Who's gonna bring 10 million condom packages into Gaza? Which aid truck? Imagine, imagine Hamas kidnapping that aid truck. Going fighting, ta 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 ta, going around, running their own people, hitting
Bring
people.
the
That
condom.
take it, this is
Bring
ours.
the
Going in,
condom.
and then Aziz entered the bunker. Yeah, baby, I brought us another eight truck. This can hold us to fight the Zionists for another month. Look how much falafel and shawarma they open. Walak Aziz, Walak Aziz,
What did you do?
running.
What did you do?
Since that day, Aziz was remembered as the condom fool of the village. Like, who will bring 50,000 condoms? What was that?
It's like Borat. It's like Borat. This is
And
Aziz. This is
and
Aziz. He brought all the condoms to the village.
yeah, Mansour is a special forces. It's all in the details. So and you have to be creative. You got to be creative when you're in the special forces. So anyway, Aziz now that received these condoms and went around in Gaza, Biden, who approved the sending of 50 million condoms to Aziz, deprived Israel from about 200, I don't know, million, I don't remember exactly, of weapons that they bought, which Trump just released. When they asked him, why are you sending it? Because they paid for it. So the Biden administration was
Exactly.
holding necessary equipment to save lives and to bring back the hostages and to defeat evil. And meanwhile, was sending evil $50 million worth, 10,000 packs, 10 million, 10 million, 10, yeah, 10 million packs of condoms. 10 million.
Musab
That's the
said
math. That's
something.
the math.
Musab said something about about the deal. He said that we could have, like, it's too late now, right? But we could have said, so you took
Poison
our
condoms.
people
Dang
hostage.
it. Sorry for cutting you. That could have been a big Mossad plot. You know what? Maybe, yeah. Mossad,
What?
hey, listen, psst, next time send poison condoms with poison ivy. Imagine, oh, that would
No,
be
no, no,
biblical.
no. Like the beepers,
Like
like
the
the
Bib-
beepers.
that would be biblical. You know, in the Bible, when they convinced their enemies to actually go and circumcise them, and then the Jews went and wiped that enemy out. They told them they can have their women if they get circumcised. I don't remember exactly the story. I mean, wow, my God. Imagine these people. They just cut their schnitzken at the age of 25. Whew. And then they have the Jewish people who tricked them to cut their schnitzken. The Mossad became brilliant from then. I think you muted yourself. The Mossad was
Yeah, yeah,
brilliant
yeah.
even in the days of the Bible when they convinced their enemies to cut their schnitzken. Wait,
If you're right, if you're right, you might have right now a Mossad agent named Helicopter saying to himself, "Yeah, Rabbi, they foiled our plan. We wanted
they,
to take off their schnitzel.
yeah,
They're,
you know, you know,
they're
the
knackers."
sweat workshop we had to build in Africa for people to actually manufacture these condoms one by one, put poison ivy in them. You bloody hell, Trump! What did you do? Hey, I just want to say thank you to Lauriqueto. Sorry, I'm still new to these lives for giving $20 in the super thanks or super chat or
Super chat. Super
yeah,
thank
thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you,
And he says
Lori.
he's new to the channel. Great work. Hey, welcome, man. I'm telling you guys, this channel is growing really fast, way faster than me as a full-time devoted parent can actually notice. I don't have much time to look at it sometimes and see the numbers and I would have not been able to be here and do these amazing videos that I'm enjoying so much making and that people are enjoying, watching if it wasn't for all the people in this group here. And thank you so much for joining the channel. Anyone that is new here, raise your hand. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the Ashka Show. And I still need to find the name for this channel.
Guys, tell us also if you want to see some merch. I thought about maybe having like merch like Israel, bad Pacific nation. Tell us
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
if you think it's a good idea.
That's a great. Roy the kid came with a great idea. We should make a T-shirt that says "Bat Tusi," like Israel Bat Tusik, and I think that is brilliant. I think we should do that. I think we should do this all kind of merches, and if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. It's still fun. Maybe we'll sell
We
two or
can
three of them to cover the expenses, but it'll be fun just to do that.
we can do by commission, like if somebody like orders, we can like send it to him. We can find out. Listen, we're just growing. We just like discover this whole thing. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's,
Anyone that comes with ideas for merch, bring it on. Actually, someone wrote a comment here, a very interesting one. He says, "Condoms, Star Hopper. Condoms would be great new symbol for the demos. House production, protect a bunch of the only thing I would tell you a problem with condoms in the Muslim world in general, it's not that commonly used. It is. There actually, you know what? I take it back. There's actually way more adultery happening there than people can imagine. There's
not very condomly used.
there's actually very disturbing adultery. I wouldn't even call it adultery. I don't know how to call it. It's even worse. And they definitely try to hide. You know what, guys? Let me give you a preview. Hezbollah was doing that a lot.
Wait. Just be careful with the words.
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah, yeah. I'm
Just
gonna be
remember.
careful with the words. I'm gonna be careful with the words, but it's crazy. It's crazy, and Hezbollah was doing it quite a lot and keeping it hush hush. What happened is when a militant will perish in battle and doing his jihad stuff, and he will leave a woman as a widow. In Israel, in the US, they have a system to support widows and orphans, of the fathers and mothers, might have gone in the active duty. And what they did over there, instead of having a support system for them, they started basically giving them the chance to work as prostitutes. And what that means is another Hezbollah member will come and a religious leader, Imam, will come and meet with him and will give him as if a religious permission to marry that woman for one night. So he can go and sleep with her, and then that woman will get some kind of a reward. And that was a way for them to like retreat. When these warriors are coming back to retreat, they will let them basically. And now, which is not surprising when you think about that Hezbollah was, sponsoring itself by selling drugs. So as a religious organization that pretend to be like the people of Allah, they're basically drug dealers and militants. Now, on top of that, they're also pimps. And that was something that we're trying to hide very, very much because, that even in the Muslim world will be looked up really bad. And the Muslim world was trying very hard to make Hezbollah look like they are some kind of the heroes of Islam and they're how it should be. So they were trying to hide it. So yeah, that is just sick in so many ways. But anyway,
There's some more stuff that he talked about. Um, he said something about Trump as well. Before Trump, something more important. Tzvi Kelly asked him about um, Egypt. Egypt buying a lot of weapons, and specifically from the U.S. Tanks, um, battle ships, I think, also, and some איך אומרים צוללות?
submarines.
Submarines, exactly. Yellow submarines. Not very yellow, not very happy. And he said that we already found some of the American weapons being smuggled from Egypt to Gaza
Yeah,
this year. So we don't know what Egypt is trying to plan. We don't know if it might be something bigger, but he said that Trump better put them in line before they start doing something stupid.
yeah.
They might try to find a better sponsor like Russia, but I think it's kind of late right now because Russia is very occupied. And also another thing he said about Trump, he said that don't think Trump is your friend. Trump is not our friend. Trump is a populist. He is a demagogue. He knows how to talk. He's very good at it. And he can be an ally, but he's not a friend. And be aware because the only friends you have right now, and he said that, he said, my brothers and sisters are here. My brothers and sisters are the people in Israel. They are the ones who are in the front of the lines. They're doing the job. They're doing it, and they are my brother. That's what he said. Musab Hassan Yousef. He said they are my brothers and sisters.
He guy have no filters. I love it. He just have no filters. You know, he was going out on the Biden administration. He's going out on Trump right now. He speaks what he thinks. Big part of it was the slated hostage deal. Kind of made me think for a second, what is Trump doing here? Is this doing this just for his own ego? Because obviously this is a terrible deal, or is there something going behind the scenes just to come and say, hey, look, I came, and the moment I came, they started listening to me. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubts. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt to actually prove himself. Uh,
Trying to take credit for something he didn't do. And Musab said it. He said it. It's not Biden. It's not Kamala. Of course, it's not Kamala. But it's not Trump. None of you guys did anything. Don't try to take credit for something you didn't do.
I
And
tell
I
you what,
agree with
I
him.
do give. Let me tell you this. I think that will help explain it. My kid today asked me a very cute question. 5 years old. He told me, "Abba, do you like America?" And I said, "Yeah, I love America." And he said, "Why?" And I thought about it, like, how can I explain it to a 5 years old? And I told him because America is a great country. Thanks to America, humans have reached the moon and probably going to reach Mars. Thanks to America, the world is not living under very, very evil people because they went and stopped the evil people again and again. Thanks to America, science is flourishing, economy is very strong, and a lot of great things are happening on Earth thanks to America. And people like to forget that. And I told them, even especially here in Europe, Europe, where we're living now, would have been a terrible place if it wasn't thanks to America. We'd be living right now under very, very bad people. So America did a lot of great things. But all these great things that came from America were always when America was strong, was always when America was leading the world, military, economy, morally, and etc. And I feel like undoubtedly under Biden, under Kamala, under Obama, America was perceived as weak, as pathetic, and just as self destructive at best. And when it comes to Trump, at least America is gaining back that respect. And it's been perceived as okay, listen, guys, things are changing right now. America's back on the ball. So I'll give them that. I mean, we still have a few more years to see how they're going to act and what they're going to do and what's going to be their focus. But undoubtedly, when America is strong, the world becomes safer. And that's what
I
I told
will
them. I love
say,
America. Since America, we actually have a better world.
I agree with you, but I will, again, I will say we shouldn't forget a few key points. One, Hitler, his
Mhm.
whole ideology, part of this ideology came from Ford, the guy who invented the car. You know,
Yeah.
the he was a very, very, very big anti-Semite, and he published a book about the Jewish problem, and it was way back then in the 1920s. And Hitler read about that book, and years later he published Mein Kampf, and he referenced Ford in that book. We shouldn't underestimate the Ku Klux Klan that came back in the 1920s, 10 again from America. We shouldn't forget that the Allied forces, they didn't really think about, in World War II, they didn't really think about helping the Jews. It was more like of a a secondary thought, right? It's not like they helped us break out of the Dachau and Auschwitz and all those places. It was only because the bad guys were there and we were the secondary thought of, let's, okay, if we're here, so let's help them. If they were, if they didn't have to, but still they didn't focus on that. So I'm not saying that America is bad. I'm saying that America is serving American interest, and that's okay. That's okay.
And
We
that's
need
what
to
also
serve
every
our
country.
own interest as well.
Let me maybe unpack a little bit what you just said here. Correct me if I'm wrong. First of all, every country is thinking about itself first, or should. Undoubtedly, if it wasn't for America, we'd be living under Nazi Germany right now, or under Russia, communist, or under China, or under radical jihad and other stuff. They're literally keeping the bad guys at bay. And Israel should never, ever put her hope for defense on America only. Never. Because we've seen that in the past when the Jews war during the Holocaust, like you said, no one really helped them. It was by default at the end. And we're not talking about the people that went and liberated. The people cared. We're talking about from a policy perspective. And we've seen that now with the Biden administration. I mean, imagine if they would have been able to rule for 8 more years. It's undoubtedly that they don't like Israel. So America has always been Israel's biggest allies, and we cannot ignore the help and to be able to thank them for being on our side. Otherwise, Israel will be in big trouble. And some, believers and Christians and Jews will come and say God would have found another way, and maybe, but at least that's the way we know that right now is happening right now. Take it spiritually or not spiritually. But to come and think that America should care about Israel more than they care about America, no, I don't think so. I think America should care about America. I think Israel should care about Israel. I think India should care about India. I think, countries should care about themselves first, and they should know who are their allies and who are their enemies. And undoubtedly, America is our ally, and undoubtedly, Donald Trump is a much better, at least from what it looks right now, ally than any of the ones that were before. Should we trust him completely? No. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, before he was in
No,
WrestleMania,
definitely,
before, let's
definitely.
call it as it is. He's a great from right now up until now. Looking what he did, and I think that's right to every person. Judge these candidates by their current actions, and actually to try to see if there's a pattern of change. Even people that were crazy before, if they really show the real change, take it as it is and see it as it is. And we saw a real change in Donald Trump, and we saw a much more come to Jesus moment in his behavior. And we also seeing right now with since he took office, I've been following, he's been only making decisions that made sense. He's stopping the shipment of condoms into Gaza. He's declaring war against the cartel that are killing his own people. He just made it illegal to mutilize children in the US so they can go through this puberty change and gender change as a kid. I mean, who in his sane mind would allow a child who's 12 years old to decide to mutilate his body, but yet not allow him to have a tattoo because he's not old enough? And you've seen this. So it seems like so far he's been making actually pretty strong practical rules that just make sense after a long time that didn't make sense. The hostage deal was negotiable still. Maybe there's things behind the scene. I get your point, and I get the point of Hassan Masab, and I respect that. But so far, I am actually pretty pleased, I have to say, with that change so far. More than previous candidates.
Yeah, no, that's definitely like he said it best. He said, yeah, Biden or Kamala were not an option. Also, they were not an option. There's a reason why Trump won by a landslide. He won the popular vote. He won the electoral vote. And listen, I'm still a very big anti-Trump. Right? I don't like the guy. There's a lot of stuff that I don't like. Putting that aside, if I'm looking at my own, country's interest, well, my country's interest, he's okay. He's okay for now. I mean, it's not like I would vote for him, but it's not like I would vote for any one of them, right? But I think that we need to look at it and count our blessings. That's what we're trying to do here. Count our blessings by, if it's like looking at the hostage deal and saying people are going to be released. I heard that right now they're also going to release, I think, five Thai workers. Um, but it's not like in the hostage deal. They're just going to release them, and maybe we don't know what Thailand promised Hamas, but maybe it's money, maybe it's something else. We don't know. We don't
Hmm.
know what they did, but they did do something to mitigate the release of five hostages from Thailand. So
Let's see. Let's see how
you
that
know,
goes.
but again, I'm saying let's count our blessing. This is also a blessing, even if they're not Israelis, right? They're hostages being released, and we need to look at that as a positive as well. If I'm thinking about another stuff that he said, um, he said about forget about rebuilding Gaza, like not with Hamas still here. I mean, he says that no one in his right mind is going to pour so many money, so like billions of dollars, to build it. And he said that right now they're saying like, yeah, maybe Israel should build it. It's like, yeah, who the heck are you?
Yeah,
Who are
yeah.
you? You just destroyed your own country. You destroyed your own people, and now you want to sit down, be like a boss, like this, and say, okay, now Israel, okay, now you clean up and you do the work. Go, go.
That's only the
Sorry,
Israel
yeah.
is the only country in the world that is expected to hold back when an enemy is trying to genocide them, that is expected to agree to every ceasefire ridiculous ideal from people that want to genocide them, that is expected to stop fighting and start negotiating with terrorists, with militants who kidnap their children, and then later on when they defeat them per se, are expected to go and compensate them and rebuild their countries. Or and expected also to send humanitarian aid to the same enemy that is trying to genocide them. It's just unbelievable the things that they're asking them. Anyway, guys, I said I'm gonna be finishing soon. So if there's any last questions, I would read them now, and I would try do my best to answer, or Roy as well, if you have any questions for him. One question here is from Fred Logic. Mansu, what do you think we could argue in the other countries as better policy? We could argue for in other countries as better policy. Jumping here. I didn't fully understand the question, Fred. If you can, Frida, if you can repeat that again, maybe explain it. Could argue for in other countries as better policy for Israel. Nega the Jewish again.
Maybe for a better policy for the Israeli government, like between governments.
Thank you, Thank you, Sagiv, for comment. We're growing the channel. Doing my best. Okay. All right. Well, someone asked who is the kid. So the kid is right here, is Roy, and this episode completely was supposed to be a test because I'm um, trying to see if this how do you call this duck thing, StreamYard works. And then people started jumping in, and we said, let's talk, and we just went with it. And Roy was helping with that. Roy is a cool guy from Israel that started helping me edit some of my videos to help me take the load. As you know, guys, I am doing this out of my own free time and basically for free. And that's when we started trying to get the channel to be monetized and to get Patreon, etc., to help support my work. So I can keep doing this job for you. And Roy came and started helping me with some edits, which I will be forever grateful. And not only that, also helping with some pointers and guidelines. And once in a while, he comes with a brilliant idea, even though I give him so much shit. And every day, like when I think like, okay, this guy have no idea what you're talking about, he just comes with a brilliant idea. And I'm like, dang it, I really wanted to call you an idiot today, and you just took that away from me. So that's Roy for you guys. If you want to say a word about yourself. The
Yeah,
mic is yours, Roy.
yeah. Well, first of all, I'm gonna say screw you, you little asshole. No, I love you. I love you. I really, yeah. We started it like 4 months ago, I think, and it was like a job thing. You said like, "Hey, I need some help with editing,"
I
and
made a post. Someone can help me
yeah,
with editing. Yeah.
on Instagram, and I was following you like forever, and I was like, forever, like ever since like
Come on, admit it. You
October.
have posters of me in your house next to Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
Don't know
yeah,
it.
with with
A boys' band.
arrows that I'm throwing at you. Exactly. Uh,
Exactly.
so yeah, so we started doing that, and somehow I became friend with this little idiot douchebag.
Weirdo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We became great
But
friends
yeah,
of.
but it's been an interesting journey, and I think that we just started. Like we just like this whole story just started, and I think that I love every moment that we're working together. I really, really, really do. And I think we are just doing something that's important, but also, um, like I would say that I was kind of lost before. I was supposed to continue with my studies in university, and for personal reason I stopped after October 7. Stuff that are not connected also, but happened. And then I felt like I need some guidance. I need something to do. And when you said about help with editing, I said like I can edit. I'm good at that. And then I thought to myself, why am I not like putting myself out there, and like you know putting myself and saying I can do the job, I can do the work, and not just for you. I mean, just like for other people as well. And I started doing that, and it gave me confidence, and gave me confidence in what I do, and that it's something that I do and I love. You know,
It gave you, yeah, it gave you some kind of, I guess, sometimes when we are in the downest, darkest moments, we need some reason to really motivate us to get out of bed. And I feel sometimes the best cure is productivity. Start doing something, and anyway, I thank you so much, Roy. There's a question here. That's beautiful what you shared, by the way. There's a question here that someone asked. Coping asked that. A moderator, our newly promoted moderator, Coping, great job, by the way, so far. Really appreciate. I've been noticing what you're doing here in the background. I'm trying to learn this multitasking here. He asked, "What do
his
you
name is
think
Coping.
is, huh?"
His name is Coping.
Well, that's his YouTube name. I don't know. Your name is Fizi Bublach, so don't laugh
No,
at
no,
other
no.
names,
But
okay?
I think he like ask him if he knows Lubna. We're both in Lubna's channel.
Ah, maybe, maybe. So he can reply to that. Meanwhile, I'll read the question. He says, "I'll repeat the question by HD. What do you think Israel will do with the Syrian Jews of Sweda?" So I have no idea. We're still waiting to hear if there's going to be any update. Sweda is a more complicated story than the Druze in the Jabal Druze, the mountain of the Druze, Hermon, because they're just with the border with Israel. Sweda is a little bit deeper, and between Israel to them, there's a few actually Muslim villages. So it's quite hard. How would Israel? What would they do with them? Can they protect them? They can't annex them? They're going to have to conquer that whole land. So there's still a lot of things happening behind the scene, but I'm tuned, and I'm really hoping, and I'm sure actually that there's a lot of sheikhs in Israel, Druze sheikhs, and Syrian and Lebanese and Israeli politicians that are trying to figure out. Israel just came and said that they're not planning to leave anytime soon from the ground that they took in Syria. They said, we're not going to let these radicals dictate the safety of Israel. So until we realize it's actually a safe neighborhood, we're staying here. So
Maybe
let's.
maybe like an operation like in Ethiopia we did like back then. Like saving people, like bringing them here with
I
the
don't think they're
plane.
gonna do that. I don't think so. That'd be cool, but I don't think so. The Druze can just come by themselves. Someone said Frida said Mansu action figures. That would be great merch with little 3D model of that hallway with a timer light switch. Maybe have Mansu dashboard, with the head going up and down, kind of, in the car. Why not? Uh,
The Mansoor plushie. Mansoor
yeah.
plushie, like you can hug him.
Yes, the Norwegian, the kid has met the candidate with Lubna. Ah, he answered yes. Cool.
Yes, coping. Coping. That's awesome. So you know
Wait,
coping?
is coping? Are you? Sorry for asking. Are you a male or a female? So
Male.
just so we know how to call you, because I've been calling you like a male till now.
Male, male.
Ah, okay.
Big boy.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. You are both in Lubna's channel. Coping is based. Based. I've got to learn the word based not long ago. Someone
All
told me that
base.
I'm based.
All base.
The kids. Let's see if there's any other questions before we finish. And just about to ask that. Hug that. uh, Mickey Mouse alarm clock merch. Maybe I should. Maybe I should.
That's
Well,
good,
anyway,
dude.
guys,
That's
thank you
good.
so much. Whoever came here, I see. Wow, we have had more than 100 people staying live watching this video. It's beautiful. We didn't really plan it. It was just by surprise, and I'm really liking these
Totally
lives. And we
unplanned.
should do more.
Yeah.
The thing that we have to guard our majority in terms of population, so I don't think they will import non-Jewish bulk population. It's undermining political power. It is so sadly. And then we have to guard our majority in terms. Manso action figure with a Mickey Mouse clock available for limited time. Hey, if someone can build that, do it. I'll share the revenue with you.
We need to do a pager toy, like you can play like hot potato, like like you throw it, and when they throw to one another, and when
Uh-huh.
it beeps, it explodes.
I thought, you know what? If you really want to piss off some jihadist friends, you should send them a pager toy alarm clock that have hands and legs, and it wakes you up with Allah Akbar. Pager toy
No,
alarm
but
clock. With
it says the hour. Now it's 6 hour. It's 6 o'clock. Ya Akbar.
That's a Mossad merch. Yeah, exactly. No, I was like, Mossad should have that merch. You should be able to
Yeah,
buy it and then send it to your jihadist friends. It just wakes them up with Allah Akbar. It's a prayer clock, but like a pager. Hey HD, thank you so much. Uh, Good luck with your channel, paying for Israel, Syria, and Lebanon. I think maybe that's a great place to finish the conversation now. Jokes aside, we're still talking about very serious stuff here. It's the stability and safety of nations and countries, and that is generations to come. That is the children that will be born in this region. Their life will be shaped by the decisions of our leaders now. So I highly recommend to remember our leaders in prayers as well, and just really pay attention and see what kind of an influence you can add out there to help, if it's voting, if it's sharing the right stuff, or talking about it, so we can maybe hopefully create a safer world for everybody, because absolutely we need Lebanon, we need Syria, we need Israel, we need all these neighboring countries to be stable for the sake of everyone in that region, for the sake of us, for the sake of the Muslims, the Christians, anyone in that region, even for the sake of the kid.
and
So,
thank you. And also, and we are right now in the middle of an historic times. Like these are historic times. Those times you will talk about those years with your family, with your kids, with your grandkids, and you'll tell them we witnessed history in the making. And I'm not saying it like lightly. It is history in the making. I don't know
yeah,
if most of us understand it or not, but the Middle East is going to change forever, and it's going to have a ripple effect to America, to the United States, I mean, to Europe, and hopefully for the better.
yep, yep. Amen. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Go check Fizzy Bublak's Instagram. The guy have a really cool post that he keeps putting out there. And stay tuned and see you in the next one. Don't do anything stupid in general. Just don't do anything that I would do. I think that's a good advice. Yalla bye.
Bye bye.
And okay, yes. Am I still on? Hmm. Cat lady. أنا بحبك too. End stream.